Hello, my name is Chelsea. I'm from the Herbal Cup, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about shrubs. And when I say shrubs, I'm not talking about a shrub that would be in your front yard, backyard, or garden. This would be a shrub that you can drink. Shrubs are also known as vinegared syrup or also drinking vinegar. Vinegar has been used over many years, almost like a sports drink. It's something that you could add to the water or other beverages that would sort of add back some minerals into your body. I want to go through some shrub history, a little bit of history as to where they came from. First, I want to let you know that shrubs were all over the world. Shrubs were being used to preserve herbs and fruit and vegetables. So that's sort of the main theme that keeps coming up throughout history. But I'll read you what I've got here in my notes. So it starts out in the 15th century. The English version came about from medicinal cordials that would be used to help people with their ailments. The American version most likely started in the 17th century England, as vinegar was used to preserve fruits and vegetables with the off-season or during the off-season. In the 19th century, Americans were using shrubs in water, soda, and in cocktails with their alcoholic beverages as mixers. Shrub popularity slowed down due to the invention of refrigeration. I'll now explain how to make a shrub. Again, this is super simple. I don't think you really can mess this up. So you'll start with your 3 ingredients. Again, you're going to choose a sugar, you'll choose a vinegar, and then also your fruit or vegetable or herb. Add that to a bowl. So if you choose fruit, for example, you would add your fruit to a bowl, mash it up just to kind of get the juices to start kind of breaking down the fruit a little. And what I've read, if you do choose to work with sugar, you could add the sugar on top of the fruit, and that actually helps to pull a lot of the juices out. Again, we're not working with sugar. We are going to be using honey for our shrubs at the Herbal Cup, but that would be the second step, is you want to add your honey or your sugar onto your fruit. So that's your second step. Third step is to choose which vinegar that you want to use. Again, we're going to use apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar. That's going to be the third step. You put your raw apple cider vinegar. You can kind of give that a mix. You can put it right into the fridge and let it sit for about 2 to 3 days in your bowl, or you can transfer it over to a pretty large jar and with the whole fruit, your sugar, honey, and your vinegar. Put everything together, again, either in the bowl or in the jar, into the fridge, let it sit 2 to 3 days, and then you pull it back out. You'll get a strainer, strain out the big pieces of fruit, and now you've got a shrub. And that's it. So again, you can't go wrong. It's pretty fun, and you can get very creative with all the different varieties and flavors with your shrubs. There are so many different types of shrubs that you can create, and like herbalism, creating a shrub can be very forgiving. So as long as you have a proportion or ratio of 1 to 1 to 1 with your sweetener, your vinegar, and your fruit or vegetable / herb, then you're doing it right. That's one of the reasons why I really like herbalism. It's forgiving. It allows you to sort of add that creativity in there. So I want to give you some examples that I've found on the internet and a few other resources that I can link below. But these were some ideas that I thought sounded really tasty. So I'll share them with you. So we've got pineapple and ginger, So that would be a shrub that you could create, which sounds really refreshing, especially during the summertime. And ginger is really good for upset stomachs and nausea. So that's a good one maybe for pregnant women. Maybe. And then we also have berry lavender, which I think sounds really great, maybe even soothing. Peach basil, so this is the one that I want to create later on. Another idea that I thought sounded really good is with peach, doing a peach habanero, which sounds really hot, maybe not great for summertime, but it would be tasty. And then a few other ideas: strawberry basil, bean cherry, and vanilla bean. Those two together sound pretty good. Grapefruit and bay leaf sounds really good and refreshing. And blueberry and basil. Kind of can't go wrong when you add basil to anything. Maybe that's just my opinion, but basil is delicious and refreshing. All right, so we are gonna make our peach shrub. We have our peaches pitted, so no pits in the peaches. We have our apple cider vinegar that we're going to use, and then the raw unfiltered honey that we're going to use in this recipe. So we have our jar, and like I've said before, you want to do equal parts of your 3 items: your vinegar, your sugar, and your fruit or vegetable. So essentially I'm just going to split this up in 3 parts, my container up in 3 parts. So we'll add the peaches to about right here. Make sure that they're mashed to the very bottom. Then we'll add the honey about here, and then fill the rest of it up with apple cider vinegar. So let's go ahead and get started. Going to take the end of my wooden spoon and mash the peaches down to the bottom, and this just allows more of the juices from the fruit to be able to get into our liquid. So as you see, we could probably add a few more peaches, so we're going to add a little bit more just to kind of come up a little bit more up the jar here. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, so there's our fruit, our peaches. I left the skin on the peaches mainly because we're going to filter out all the fruit anyway, so none of the skin's going to be left behind. I just figured, why not leave it in there? Now for our honey, we're using raw unfiltered wildflower honey by Aunt Sue's. So again, you know, I'm aiming, this is pretty forgiving, but where we're aiming with the honey is about right here. Okay, and then the rest of this will be filled with the apple cider vinegar. Alright, so here's our mixture. We're going to give this a really good shake. Then we will let this sit for about 1 to 3 days. At that point, then we can strain out the fruit and we'll have just our drinking vinegar or our shrub.